Let the dice tell the story.
The Crystalline Fields are resplendent in their beauty. Much like the realm of light, fractals and crystals form which reflect, refract, and otherwise amplify the light. To creatures of darkness, it is a baneful place, where light banishes any blight that attempts to step foot here. However, one must always remember that where the light burns brightest, the darkest shadows are cast. Iota Darling, the Lord Aquila, sits astride Strelizia, her pale Gryph-charger with a fiery plumage. From this lofty vantage point, the scintillating lights of the Crystalline Fields make the lands almost a blinding haze of brightness. With her emerald green eyes, she spots something amiss in the valleys below. In this place of almost searing brilliance, a mote of shadow creeps forth, and a spreading taint of darkness follows.
The Shadow Beast is there.
Sarah Shadowfax speaks up suddenly, appearing as if from nothingness.
By the gods, must you always do that?
Iota fumes at her, trying futilely to hold back her surprise. Strelizia snarls, and makes a quick snap at the Night Zeros, the smell of shadows surrounding her body. Paying no mind to the beast, she looks to the Lady Aquila with an expressionless face.
My apologies. I was not aware you were so skittish.
Ignoring the indignant look in the lady's eyes, the knight continued.
The monstrous presence is down there, in the valley. It is as the Lord Arcanum had a vision. It must be the source of this blight. Let the hunt begin!
The Lady Aquila announces to her waiting retinue. She beams with excitement at the thought of hunting down this monster of darkness. A stiff breeze blows past the crest of the hill and down through the valley as the Stormcast band disappears from sight. Vadalus the Reaper and Guardian of Souls glides through the realm with a sense of duty and unease. The light was blinding here, and his natural instincts urged him to seek out the darkness once more, but within his mind his orders were clear. With his nightmare lantern overhead, he bathes the area of the temporary umbra with which his forces follow. Melchior, the Lord Executioner, follows closely behind the Guardian of Souls, wary of the light of this place searing his incorporeal form.
Is this where the blight is to begin?
He questioned Vadalus, feeling out of place here in what seems like the antithesis of the Nighthaunts.
It's by the will of our Leash King that we come here, and by his will this is where his kingdom begins.
Vadalus stops abruptly, as if stopped by an unseen force. Perhaps an ancient ritual ground or other forgotten seat of power. This ordained place would seed the new kingdom of death. His nightmare lantern deluminates and spreads a mist of ever-expanding shadow which seeps into every inch of the land. He summons forth a horde of chain rasps and commands his subordinates put them to task. Ornas, the spirit tormentor, begins his work by whipping the chain rasp hordes into formation, crushing and banishing the spirits of those that did not fall into line. Vadalus could not see the enemies, but sensed the presence in the air. Swirling his lantern about, he pulls the Vault of Souls and sends a screaming reliquary to hungrily seek out souls to devour. Against the brilliant sky of this realm space, no one could see the flashing bolts of lightning as they came striking down from on high. Iota orders precision strikes from afar as she carefully judges the distance with her finely tuned eyes. Judicators let loose a volley of storm-blessed arrows to rain upon the chain rasps. Several of them are banished by thunderous force, and with their screams of anguish, the Vault of Souls turns to devour them. Vadalus scowls as he uses his spectral lure to retrieve the wayward souls.
Your task is not finished. Your servitude is required.
He beckons to his horde. The darkness that envelops his host grows stronger with every moment as his darkened lantern works its magic into the lands. With the shadows empowered, he calls into being a creature of pure shade, a dreaded Mongol. Ornas cracks his chains to gather the souls into a defensive formation, but as a sudden gust of wind shifts, 3 Stormcast riders break into the Umbra cast by the Guardian of Souls. Javelins and pistol bolts drive into the Spirit Tormentor, with only a few finding purchase on his ethereal form. Ornas eyes them with disdain until another figure appears behind them in the shadows. Cirrus crouches low, following the Paladors as they rode the winds. With deft hands, she unslings her bolt pistol to unleash several shots, which pierce the Spirit Tormentor. He cries out in anguish as he disappears into the darkness. Melchior, surprised by this ambush, looks to reap revenge for this incursion. The disembodied souls floating around him seem to taunt him and his inaction.
She's going to get you. You're going to fail.
They mock as they float back and forth in front of him. He points his cohort of spirit hosts at the Knight Zeros. But before they can action, another volley rains down upon the Chainrasp hordes, and she disappears in the ensuing confusion. Vadalus attempts to recall the banished spirits, but with his focus on spreading the blight upon this area, his spectral lore fails him. Under the threat of constant fire, he seeks cover and safety behind some ruins. Iota rides the wind's etheric and pulls Cirrus in her wake.
Come, I think we found the source of this blight,
she says with haste and a smile upon her face. A monstrous Mongol devours the flesh of an unfortunate creature caught in its path. It begins to clamber over the ruins to answer the beckons of the Guardian of Souls. But before it does so, a retinue of Vanguard Raptors touch down on the ground, brought down by a hurricane of Azurite energy. Along with them, the Lady Aquila and Knight Zera also appear before the immense creature, as it roars with a terrifying scream. Prosecutors with wings wreathed in flames rushed to herald the attack. The sky scorches through their blazing javelins at the great beast, lightening the surrounding shadows for others to follow suit. The Hailstorm Brigade unleashed a devastating barrage focused on the Mongol. The 2 Stormcast heroes also let loose a volley of pistol bolt fire at the beast. Despite their combined and coordinated attack, the monstrous creature shrugs off many of these and only roars defiantly at them. The sound echoes through the valley, shaking everyone to their core. The Aethwings dive in to try to distract the monstrosity, but they are quickly swatted away by the vicious claws of the beast. While it is distracted and under heavy fire from the Vanguard Raptors, Iota charges at it, and with a mighty swing of her star-bound blade, the Lady Aquila vanquishes the gargantuan Mongol. She smiles as the beast dissipates into the air, and its tainted shadow lifts from the surrounding, but with each passing moment, a dreadful thought gnaws at her. Why was the darkness not receding?
Something is amiss. The beast is banished, but the gloom it casts remains,
she says as her eyes search the area, trying to make sense of it until she realizes the epicenter of the darkness.
Damn it all! They must be performing some sort of ritual,
she cursed under her breath.
Quickly! We must dispatch that creature controlling the shadows. Cirrus, you must!
She continued, but the Knight Zeros had already disappeared into a wisp of shadow. The Sky Scorcher prosecutors take to the air and make a long dive towards the Guardian of Souls, hoping to snuff out the lantern of shade it held. Elsewhere, Melchior turns his attention to the Vanguard Paladors who are circling to launch another strike. Whispering an order, a wave of terror comes screeching forwards to attack the riders. Spirit hosts dive in with a howl, their spectral daggers poised to draw living blood. The Paladors are quickly surrounded by the malign spirits. They circle the riders and make deathly passes at them. With each deadly exchange, the Stormcast cavalry on their mounts are sapped of their life until 2 of them pull back in retreat, while the leader pulls away to try to distract the assailant haunts. Melchior is pleased with the results and looms to strike the routed units, but before he can act, he is assailed by a barrage of deadly lightning enchanted arrow fire. He swirls in the air and uses his axe to swat the missiles out of the air, a roaring thunder audible as he does so. The Judicators marched forwards while launching volleys, hoping to press the enemy back with a withering fire. In his ire, he moves to strike against them, but appearing from smoking motes of shadow, the Knight Zeros dashes at him with twin blades singing. The Azurite blades are alight, with azure flames as they slash at Melchior. He parries and dodges as they exchange blows, his executioner axe swinging in large arcs as he attempts to behead the agile Stormcast warrior. She leaps up suddenly from a crumbling ruin and sinks both of her blades into the Lord Executioner. He wails in agony as he disappears to retreat from battle. The hollow feeling of defeat pained him more than any blade could. Suraz looks over as the fiery prosecutors made a headlong charge into the Guardian of Souls and his nearly depleted retinue of chain rasps. She begins to run towards them, to join the fray when a screeching howl surrounds her. A host of spirit haunts launch an assault on her from all directions. With agile grace, she is able to dodge some of their deadly daggers, but without any hope of sustaining combat here, she has no choice but to retreat, leaping to a lofty height and dashing away into the cover of shadow. With javelins and tridents, the Sky Scorcher prosecutors enter into melee with Vadalus and his remaining horde. Under the cover of rapid bolt fire from the vanguard raptors, the spectral horde of haunts begin to dwindle and wane. The battle looks won for Sigmar's forces, but as a chill wind blows through the air, they soon find themselves swallowed up by an overwhelming gloom. Vadalus slams his staff into the ground, and from his hollow helmet, his voice echoes with an incantation which summons forth a horde of apparitions to him.
Let the darkness reign.
He cries out as more and more haunts are attracted to the Guardian of Souls' spectral lure. With a swift motion, Vadalus manages to catch one of the winged Stormcasts, banishing him away in a bolt of lightning. The remaining two find themselves surrounded by an endless horde of ghosts, and soon almost must take to the air and escape. Seeing this, Iota makes the signal to retreat from battle. While they managed to slay the beasts they were hunting, they had lost their chance to vanquish the taint of death. Vadalus lets out a sigh of relief as the light seems to dim and withdraw. Blackness covered the land as far as his vision could take him. The ritual was a success and a foothold for his master to begin his conquest of this place. Stamping his lantern staff upon the bleak ground, he pulls the weakened soul of Melchior and Ornas, moaning back into existence. Without even giving them a moment's reprieve, Vadalus begins to drift forwards, guided by the darkness exuding from his lantern.
Come forth. We must gather a great relic of power before we can hope to blot out that beacon.
Vadalus beckons to his followers as he eyes the shining mountain, the Diamond Apex. Thank you for viewing our channel. If you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe. We also have a Facebook page and Instagram accounts. Links are within the channel banner. Take care and happy wargaming.